Boop.
Oh, Restream removed their stupid line from the chat, by the way.
Oh, did they?
Yep. We are live on Twitch. Well, I say that.
Okay,
Restream removed their
something is
stupid
loud in the
line from the
background.
chat,
Hold
by
on.
the way.
Oh, did
it's
they?
Mixer.
Yep.
Weird. Sorry for anyone on the stream that got double audio there. It's just that devil Mixer.
I'm not going to complain because our ad on Twitch was for Apex Legends.
There you go. Yeah.
Want to say hello? Want to say hello? Look, you're on camera.
There's like 4 dudes in this backyard now. Oh, now they're picking up all the oranges.
Okay. Are they going to sell them?
They're probably rotten. Usually fall off at this point of the year. They usually fall off if they're like if there's something wrong with them and they fall on the ground and then the bugs go to town. So they're usually rotten. We have like 4 orange trees on our property, and they've all had something wrong with them every year since we moved in.
So like an infestation or whatever, so you can't technically eat the oranges that you produce.
Yeah, and like for a couple of years there, I'm more than sure that they're fine. They were just wrinkly. Like, I've never seen anything like this, but like they had like waves in the skin, and you cut them open and they look fine. But I didn't really want to take the chance.
Come on, you need to go hashtag GMO free. Then you'd know that oranges are meant to be wrinkly.
Yeah, smooth out those oranges. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure they're fine, but I don't want to go in the ER and be like, I ate the wrinkly oranges, blah. You know,
that would be a great reason to go to the ER.
Yes.
Come on.
that would be like something in 2 Point Hospital. It's like one of the new updated things is like wrinkly fruit. It's like, no.
So, and you
all of a sudden you're like 90
an old
years
person.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. I still want to play that so badly.
So do I, but it's like so expensive.
I know. I keep seeing it on sale every once in a while, but they'll like chopping like $5 off. And it's like, yeah, but
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm kind of glad that I hung fire a little bit on last day of June, which I still need to start and play for next week. But that should be okay considering how short it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But like it literally just went on sale on Steam for like $6. So I was like, thank you. I did not spend $20 on this 3 weeks ago. Instead, I now get to spend $6 on it a week before it's due and put myself under time pressure.
Yeah, that'd be much nicer. Oh boy.
You okay? Yeah.
Louise is just taking a nap over there.
Yep.
Trying to think of any new media I've watched. New episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine were out.
Oh boy.
That continues to be really good.
I finished Mass Alex.
Yeah, for anyone listening, that's Vinny and Alex over at Giant Bomb are playing the Mass Effect trilogy, as far as I know. Maybe
right now, I believe it's meant to be the trilogy.
Yeah. I watched most of the first game, and then I just watched the intro for the second game, and that seems really good.
Yeah, I watched all throughout the entirety of the first one. Like, this is part of my Giant Bomb like catch-up time, which is weird because on my browser I have the page I'm up to in the videos, which I will scroll through and click and watch as I'm doing other things. But on the Xbox downstairs, I have the Giant Bomb app, so I usually just pick a series and then start watching that series while I'm doing, like, let's say I'm having my dinner or I'm like doing chores. I'll have it like on my headphones downstairs while I'm doing it at the same time.
Right.
And Mass LX, I was watching downstairs. I still haven't even got to the point where it starts on the actual video pages. Right. So I'm like doing this weird jump where it's like from 2016 all the way to modern, then back to 2016, then all the way to modern again.
Right.
But I know he's just done, I think he's done 2 episodes of Mass Effect 2, and I watched the first part of the Mass Effect 2 playthrough just so I could see that intro, because that intro is badass.
It's so good. Like, I just I don't think I remembered how hi Louise. I don't think I remembered how cool that intro is, and it's a bummer that the DLC. I don't know if you got to the point where like
he just started this stupid comic. It's like,
yeah, like it's such a bummer because like, you know, you go through the intro and Shepard dies, and it does the cool like Mass Effect 2, and then it does the recap comic with the DLC, and it's like, no, like we had such a good build up here.
Yep.
And now like
you got 15 minutes of bullshit fucking comic.
Yeah, like
slammed in there,
reading over these comic pages, which is fine, but
yeah, it's fine, but it kills the flow, especially considering he finished Mass Effect 1 like 2 months ago.
Yeah. And man, that game starts real strong. Like that opening scene is just only a couple minutes long, but just seeing Shepard, you know, wander off and die is sort of like, okay, I guess that's how we're starting Mass Effect 2. Cool.
Yep.
I'm dead.
It's like, okay, sure.
Man.
I don't know anymore. It's weird.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did I watch anything else this week? No. Honestly, this week was mostly trying to relax and like rest.
Yeah.
Like I was coming home from work and just lying down in bed for a little while. Like
yeah.
Just because I just didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to go and lie down.
For me, it was a lot of Darkest Dungeon whenever I had spare time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw the cat cam, like, or the cat scarf.
Yes.
Like, I'd come home from work. I'd go upstairs, like, specifically on the days when my wife works late. I would come home. I would go upstairs. I would lie down in bed for a little bit, like, because if I time it right, I can get home right around about the time Marvel Strike Force has an energy redo.
Oh, okay.
Like, so the free bonus energy. So I'll get changed. I'll lie down in bed and I'll do my Marvel Strike Force stuff. But then the second I'm lying down in bed, I've got Dwight jumping all over me. I've got Louise cuddled at my feet. Right. I've got Sherlock on the other side of the bed. Exactly. And they're all just like, we're just going to smother you to death because that's what we do nowadays, apparently.
We'll kill you with love.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to let the yard work behind me sort of taper off a little bit, and it keeps getting louder.
Yeah, good luck with that, dude.
Yeah, well, the thing is my kid is taking a nap right now, and if this wakes her up, we're gonna go have some words.
Yep, you got. Well, Gaga needs to go stop the meow meow.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has a word for yard work.
I don't think we've taught her the word for yard work yet.
Chores. That's the word you want to teach her.
Yeah, that's right. Get those chores done. Back to work. Whoosh.
Clean the leaves.
Yeah. We actually don't even really have that many leaves. Thankfully, the trees that we have kind of... The people who had the house before us did a pretty good job of sort of corralling a little area around each tree where the leaves fall. So it sort of just composts for itself. Which
That's
is
pretty
really nice.
good. It's going to be great when you start doing it because it goes from fun times to nightmare times. Because you've probably got a good maybe 6 years where she will happily come out and help you do chores.
100%.
Because it's all new and excited. And then you've probably got another 30 years after that of consistent, no, I don't want to do this stuff anymore.
Fingers from the bedroom.
Yeah.
So I guess I was wrong. Either that or these guys are really not that bright. They're using the lawnmower on what I thought was turf. So either it is real grass and they just laid down sod, or they're playing a prank on this new guy. I'm not sure which one.
If you're really lucky, they might be moving.
But you know, that's what I've been thinking is, and I think this is what my wife and I have been hoping is there was a guy behind us in that house that was very, very old. So we assume he passed because all of a sudden they're like replacing their roof and they put down sod or turf or whatever it is out there. And they're like, they have all this patio furniture out and they're clearly redoing stuff. But they never really, we can see like right in their back room because they for some reason don't have curtains up. Like, please put curtains up in your house. And there's like nothing in that room, no furniture or TV or anything. So we thought, well, they're just making it nice and, you know, trying to get it ready to sell. But that was like a year ago. So,
Well, you know, the market's not doing too great right now, so maybe they're just maintaining.
market for sellers here is really great.
Shush. Don't break your own hopes.
No, my hope is that they're getting it ready to sell, and they'll sell for, because if the guy that was living there before bought this house when they were built in the 70s, they were like less than $100,000 in the 70s. Most of these houses are now worth over $550,000. So like,
so the market's
paid.
good for sellers, but what I'm saying is the market's probably really bad for buyers. That's probably why they haven't
100%.
sold it yet.
We actually haven't. We've been wanting to move actually, because this house is a little bit bigger than, now that my mother-in-law doesn't live with us anymore. House is a little bit bigger than we really need. The problem is we can't afford any other house because they're all way more expensive than our mortgage payment is, and most of the apartments in the area are more expensive than our mortgage payment is. So it's like,
Sounds
okay,
like fun.
I guess we're trapped in this house. Cool.
Yep.
Which is fine because we have a house. Like I can't
Yeah.
complain. But if these assholes would stop mowing their lawn on a fucking Sunday, god damn it!
Right around about 5 p.m. EST,
God, yeah.
which
And
is
like,
what, like
it's always the same. I don't understand. Also, like, if you're a lawn care company, why are you working on a Sunday? Like, these people are here the rest
Yeah.
of the week.
who knows? People are weird.
Yeah, it might be one of those people that's like, oh, you know, I have to be here when you're cutting my lawn.
Oh yeah, they're my favorite type of person to deal with.
Yeah, actually forgot to do the recording here, so we're gonna start that.
Yeah, bloop, bloop, bloop.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I get half of Boston's face.
Hey, only the good half.
The half where I see your ear and hair. Yes.
That's right. I wish I had more stuff to talk about, so we could just.
Oh, I fell over. If you want to talk about that.
Sure, I guess.
So we had to. I really feel I don't fall over. Like generally speaking, I'm very gangly. But I've got a. I can't skateboard. I can't roller skate. I've never skied or snowboarded, so I've never tried that.
Okay.
So I get the. Like, I used to be a fat guy, and I've never really recovered from my center of balance shifting, like,
Gotcha.
from where it used to be. But like walking, running, doing standard stuff on my legs, I'm generally speaking, I'm very, very stable. I don't bump into stuff. The thing I bump into stuff more often than not is height stuff because
Right.
I'm tall. But we had a couple of really bad nights this week. Like this weather in here is ridiculous. It was 63 degrees last Friday, and then on Sunday it was 4 degrees.
Oh, Jesus. That's always the worst, where it's like, this is a pretty nice day, and you wake up the next day, and it's like, oh, God, why?
Yeah, we turned our heat off and then forgot to turn it back on.
Oh, no.
So, you know, everything was fine. We didn't have any pipe issues or anything, but it was one of those things. It was like, great.
Yeah.
Freezing cold when we got home from work on Monday. Fantastic. But because of the overnights, we've had a bit of like dew building up. And then it's been freezing really quickly. Like we've got that really cool effect where like the rain hits the trees and then freezes before it has a chance to fall off. So you've got like
Yeah.
frozen plants and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it looks beautiful. I'm an idiot, and one day, like one of the days I was leaving here to go to work, and we have a path that leads to 4 steps going downhill. And my wife is the one who is prone to falling over. My wife is the one who is prone to slipping on ice.
Okay.
I have not done it in the 2 years we've lived in this house,
Right.
roughly. And I didn't do it at all while we were living out in the other place, which was much more dangerous than this place. And I just wasn't paying attention and literally got to the top of the steps, slipped, and then promptly fell all the way down the steps.
Do you fall right on your ass, too? So it's like bump, 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 bump.
I twisted and I fell on hip, shoulder, and wrist on the 3 steps going down.
Oh, ouch.
So the left of my hip still hurts. Like
At least you
I
didn't
think
like fracture your wrist or anything.
no, it was one of those things where like I was immediately up afterwards, and it's like, well, this is gonna hurt tomorrow,
Yeah.
and oh boy, did it hurt the day after. Like I can't sleep on my left side, which is my preferred side to sleep on right now,
Yeah.
because it's like I put my weight on my hip, and then it's just like, oh, great, pain, fun, ow, yay.
Speaking of sleeping, my vertigo continues to get better and better.
And thank you, Mina. Yes, I'm okay.
Yes.
A little sore.
But I'm still not being able to sleep on my right hand side is really bad. There's a lot of times where like I'll roll over in the middle of the night while I'm asleep, and I'll suddenly wake up and the whole room is spinning. It's just like this sucks.
Sounds like fun. How did you put as many hours as you must have done into a certain game to be discussed on this week's show while not suffering from vertigo? I want to know. Did you like close one eye?
That might have made it better, but no, it's just not making me feel great while I'm playing it.
Which is the opposite that game is meant to do.
Right? Yeah, it's supposed to fill my dark soul with light.
Oh,
that's down.
Why?
Yeah. Trying to think of the end of that first game. Oh, Kingdom Hearts is light. That was the line.
Is it? Because based on the story cutscenes, it seems to be a world full of darkness right now. I don't know anymore.
Who knows? Who knows, dude?
Hello.
I'm not the Kingdom Hearts explainer. Oh, she wants the koosh ball.
Is Daddy playing with something that you want? What?
I thought they had finished. But I guess they're doing a second pass here. I thought we were ready to start.
There you go. The reason she's awake is because it's about 20 minutes until feeding time, so on the break, I will let her out and she will go bug my wife to get fed.
There you go.
Really? You just gonna stare at it?
Waiting any minute here to... Thankfully, we don't have a super long episode to do today.
Nope. 3 games to talk about, folks.
Yep. Just waiting here.
Have a kid?
Are we done?
No. No
You guys
kisses?
gonna leave?
Now that the camera's on, you're just gonna ignore me?
Yep.
Boston is my witness. He saw what you were like before the cameras rolled. As I knock everything off my desk.
It's Sunday.
You know. You want chin? Oh no, you're just gonna be an angry little bitch right now. Boston,
that's my MO.
please be my witness. Before we started recording We Broke Like It, she would not stay on this seat.
Nope. All up in your face.
Face alone.
Now she's like gonna be all cat about it.
Yeah. Now like the camera's on.
Yeah. Well, we haven't paid her appearance fee, so.
True.
Okay. I think we've waited long enough, and I'm hoping they're going to be done soon. Are you ready to kick this thing off?
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, yes. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpier.
Hello.
Already warned everyone on stream, as it is tradition on Sundays, the person behind me is getting a lot of yard work done. So apologies if you hear some whirring in the background. I try and mitigate it as much as I can, but we don't have a professional studio or anything. As much as I would really enjoy that.
Wait, are you telling me that my purple curtains are not a professional studio?
I don't think so, but I think it could be the start of a trend.
Okay.
Purple screen. Green screen and blue screen, that's the old business. Purple screen, that's the hotness.
If I could like this in a way that I could chroma key that stuff out, it would be great. But the problem is they're so folded that I couldn't chroma key every single shade of purple, so it would just end up being me with a bunch of lines behind me.
Bunch of purple splotches. That'd be really great.
Exactly.
All right, let's just dive right into what you've been playing this past week, Moonpier.
Okay, so we've talked about this pre-show and pre-stream, or pre-stream and pre-show on the stream. So basically, I got 2 games to talk about this week, and I know one is a good transition game, so that works out quite nicely. So let's talk about the other game.
Okay.
It's Resident Evil 2, folks.
Hey.
Last week, I can't remember if last week I had officially completed the hardcore run through with Claire. I think I had.
I think you just finished the campaign with Claire.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard. The way they parse and phrase this stuff is really weird. So I'm going to call it by mine and my wife's nomenclature.
Okay.
Or me and my wife's nomenclature, technically speaking, which is playthrough A and playthrough B, which is the original campaign names for A and B. Because in the game, they refer to them as the second run. But if you start talking about a second playthrough, that could be a second playthrough with any character on any of the campaigns.
Your second playthrough.
Exactly. Yeah. So I did Claire A, and completed that on hardcore mode, which my wife quite rightly pointed out. Hardcore college student is the achievement name for that, and that sounds questionable. That's
a really great title that I'm not even going to write down because I know it'll get vetoed.
Why would it get vetoed?
Yeah, I don't want to show up on some list somewhere.
Come on, you know you want people to torrent the show, so what better way to torrent the show than to have it titled that?
Hey, if anyone's torrenting the show, it's free, so...
Maybe that's just how they get their bulk files.
Yeah, maybe. That's true. I'm not going to stop you. It's free.
So I restarted the game, and I did Leon A, because I wasn't quite ready to jump into the B-sides just yet. So I jumped in and I did Leon A's hardcore run as well, and got the hardcore rookie achievement, which is considerably better phrased.
Yeah.
So I beat the game as Leon on playthrough A. Oh boy, his end boss fight is a whole bunch harder than Claire's. Because he has the mutated Mr. X as part of his boss fight.
Gotcha. Rather
than what's referred to as G, who I just like to call... I call him Will, because that's his name. So his last boss fight is a lot harder because his space is tiny. Like, his boss fight space in that last thing is tiny.
I thought you said his face was tiny, and I was like, are we? Is this like House of the Dead? Like, is that his weak point?
No, his weak point is actually a pulsating heart that's sticking out the center of his chest.
So, boy, it is House of the Dead.
Yes.
Wait, there was a guy named G in House of the Dead as well.
Yeah, but wasn't he like the Half-Life G-Man kind of thing?
God, I don't know. All I remember was like, "You'll suffer like G did," or whatever that line, like the one famous line is from.
Okay.
House of the Dead is really great.
It's B-movie cheesy quality. It's amazing.
Yeah, until they made that B-movie cheesy one, it's like, you leaned a little too hard into it.
Yes, they didn't Starship Troopers it. They Starship Troopers 2'd it.
Yes. I like this. This is the SAT likening.
Yeah, what level of Starship Troopers are you?
Right. Oh no, I'm Starship Troopers 2. No,
I'm Starship Troopers the animated movies.
Oh no. You take that back.
So his playthrough was fun. I reiterate last week's show title, Shotgun Greater Than Grenade Launcher. Yeah. Every time.
We learned something new, that the greater than symbol is allowed in the RSS feed.
Oh, that's really good to know.
But really weird, not allowed in YouTube.
Which, considering YouTube is like kind of like started as a home for nerds.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
So I just had to write greater than in parentheses, which sort of loses something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I got my hardcore rookie achievement, and then I thought, this was yesterday. I beat Leon's campaign after probably about 40 to 50 tries of his last boss.
Now you are a hardcore rookie.
Yes, now I am a hardcore rookie. And I thought, well, I still need to get the achievement for 14,000 steps or less, never using the healing item and never opening the item box.
Okay.
Is there a guide where I can do all three at once?
Oh, that would make sense if you just like sit down and do one playthrough and just do it as perfectly as possible.
Yep, maximize the... I did the same thing with Resident Evil 7. I'm pretty sure I got the speed run, no item box and no healing achievement in Resident Evil 7, all on the same run.
Wow.
Because you just bump it down to the easiest difficulty. And then... after playing it on hardcore, let me tell you about my Resident Evil power fantasy, where I just wiped everybody off the face of the planet.
It's like Truman Show where you're just waving at the zombies like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Ooh.
Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the first boss fight you get into against Will is in like running around a small space, and you shoot him in the eyeball, the arm ball,
Right.
a whole bunch,
Right.
and then you do enough damage to him, and he dies. You move on, whatever. On hardcore mode, that took every single bit of ammo and healing items I had, along with every single bit of ammo and healing items I could scrounge in that environment.
Oh wow.
Just to be able to put him down. On assisted mode, which is the easiest difficulty, I ran away from him once. I turned around and I shot my handgun at him over and over and over again, and it took about 40 bullets, but it fires 3 at a time. So it was like, oh, okay, so you just took me 20 seconds to beat.
Right.
So this should be easy. I cleared the game with probably about 2,000 steps to spare.
Wow.
I still had difficulty with Leon, because I did the multi-achievement run with Leon again, because I just wanted the shotgun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of just cakewalked her.
Yeah.
Like, if Resident Evil 2 is hard, folks, even on normal mode, it's hard. If you're struggling, play it on assisted.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, because oh boy, is it fun to just run through and just be like plop, 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 plop.
It's the like sarcastically, "Oh no, zombies" difficulty.
Exactly. It's the what was the name of that game with the cheerleader?
Oh,
You know the one I'm talking about.
where she has the dude's head on her.
Yep.
She's
You know
turning
exactly
around.
know the one I'm talking about.
Velvet.
Nope.
Nope.
Velvet
Is it-
Assassin is the other game that guy made.
Is that Suda 51?
I think it's Suda.
Oh, let's look it up. Goichi
It's got
Suda.
a really dumb name as well.
I know, and it's really bothering me that Silver Case, No More Heroes. Weird, it's not listed in his most popular games.
Was it? I'm sure it was a Suda, wasn't it?
I thought so. Lollipop Chainsaw.
There we go.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a Lollipop Chainsaw level of oh no, there are zombies around, because it's it's ridiculously fun and easy. And like I said, I followed a guy that was like, go here, do this, do that. I beat the game in 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Wow.
So I started that run last night and I beat it this morning,
Jeez.
netting myself a whole bunch of achievements. So I'm now in the process of doing standard mode Leon B-side, which
Okay.
that's the name of my concept album.
Right.
So it starts differently, and I love the fact that it starts, like, you can tell it's the quote-unquote canonical telling of the story, because Leon starts in his casual wear and then gets changed into his police department gear, like, in the actual beginning of the B-side.
He's the action figure Leon.
Yes. I like the costume changes. I love the different availabilities of stuff. I took a clip, which I'm going to tweet at you later, to show you what I mean when I talk about the level of destruction that they placed in specifically the head models.
Oh, yeah.
Because I blasted a lady with a shotgun from point blank range,
Oh, no.
and she put her hands up right as I did it. So she lost her hands and basically all of the features of her skin on face.
Oh, no.
But was still alive and coming towards me. So it's just this, like, pull the trigger and the mask comes off kind of moment.
Right. Bleh.
It's so gross, but the level of detail is insane, and I've got nothing but respect for that team and the horrors that they had to look at.
It's one of those things where you look at it and like, part of your brain is like, wow, that's really gross, and the other part is like, wow, video games have come a long way that I can, this is really impressively gross.
Yes. Intestines getting dragged around by a half chopped up zombie.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. They have collectibles that you have to shoot, which is hilarious to me again. Like a little Ranger Rick Forest guy who's on a little pedestal. I think that's about it. Resident Evil. Buy the game, play it on assisted. It's fine. Play it on assisted.
They didn't screw up Resident Evil 2. They made it. They made it better.
Yeah, it honestly it is 100% the Resident Evil 2 that you remember without being the Resident Evil 2 that you remember.
Right. It's the better version that's in your mind instead of the version you look at and you're like, ooh, that's real bad looking.
Exactly. So I'm going to play through Leon's B, I'm going to play through Claire's B, and then I've got a whole bunch of achievements to wrap up, which I'm looking forward to doing because, hey, guess what? It's fun to play this game.
Yeah.
And for the collectible stuff, I'm just going to put it back on assisted mode. Like,
sure.
If it takes me 2 hours and 45 minutes to beat the game, that's 2 hours and 45 minutes of pure fun as I'm blowing everybody away. So,
it's just like a shooting gallery at that point.
Yeah, and it's genuinely just fun to be able to do it with modern controls, and the way it looks is so superb. Like, just it's so good. Yeah. I did like the fact that on the B-side, Leon's intro campaign video was basically a best of bits from the A-side campaign start.
Oh, cool.
Like, it was really, really nicely done the way they put that video together. So good on them for putting the clips together. And I have only been playing one game.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's free.
Say my name. Apex Legends.
I was about to say hardcore college students.
Excuse me, I'm a hardcore professional. Thank you.
Yeah, hardcore Apex
no, Siri.
Legends.
Jesus. I don't know what Siri was just gonna search based on what I just said. That search is sure as hell not happening.
Yep, it should be. So yeah, Apex Legends.
Yeah. Oh my god, I really like Apex Legends. Oh no. Yeah.
So hero shooter mixed with battle royale.
Yep.
Equals 3-man squads.
Respawn.
Made by Respawn. Source engine. So Titanfall 2 engine.
Yep.
Kind of. Oh boy, this game is so...
The thing I think I want to say at the beginning is I really wish that rumor, that one dude who leaked like the Titanfall Battle Royale a couple days ago, or like late last week, really hadn't, because I think as soon as it came out...
By attaching Titanfall to it, you've made it a problem.
Yeah, because as soon as it came out, people were like, oh my god, there's no Titans and there's no wall running. What is this garbage? And I think initially when I heard that too, I was sort of like, okay, like you made a Titanfall Battle Royale kind of without Titanfall. And then listening to what they had to say and then actually playing the game, I was sort of like, oh, okay, cool. You just made a really great shooter that is also a hero Battle Royale that I should have given Respawn more credit for, because they just make really great games. And I can be bummed that they're not making Titanfall 3 right now. That's fine.
Yep, and for the record, everybody who's talking about bye-bye Titanfall 3, blah, 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 no. Titanfall 3 was never even being developed. It wasn't even being talked about when this game was in the works.
And I think, when I think of Titanfall 3, what I get excited about is them using the next version of Frostbite for Titanfall. Like, that's what, to me, when I think of that, I sort of get excited, where I'm like, okay, cool, like, you can take the time. The other team, or, you know, a small strike team of developers that aren't working on Apex Legends is going to make some crazy-looking Titanfall. Like, this has to be the point where they cut Source Engine out once and for all, I would think.
Yeah, I think they'll still use it for this, but I think they need to move on to new, different things. Like, and it's the EA mandate that everything new needs to get under the Frostbite engine, which Frostbite is one of the best engines out there as far as I'm concerned. Like,
yeah, and it's kind of crazy to play this, especially on consoles, because it is. The game looks good, but man, does it run really smooth. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, when you can have a multiplayer first-person shooter that runs at 60 frames, God, that feels good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people seem to be forgetting as well is Respawn was born out of the fiery embers that was the old Call of Duty studio.
Yep.
So this is the same team who made Modern Warfare. Right. This is This is the minds behind revolutionizing multiplayer games.
And the team who made Titanfall 2, which is such a good game.
Like, these people have a legacy of making fantastic content.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm good. Like, the way I've been having to look at this is like, in the Titanfall universe thing, is I have been looking at this as, this is the Predator to Titanfall's Aliens, because they are connected. You know they exist in the same universe, but they're obviously slightly different. It doesn't help the Titanfall thing when the guy they do the voice acting for the intro video is the bad guy from Titanfall 2.
Okay. That's right.
Like, he's the bad guy from Titanfall 2.
But
like,
I think the other side of the coin there is, you get that incredible shooting. You get most of the guns that you already know if you played Titanfall 2. And I think part of the thing that makes me like Apex Legends so much is it's just, at its core, it's a good shooter. Like, the guns feel great. I think one of the great things about it is I can play a healer character and I can use all the guns. It's not just like, oh, you're a healer, so you get a pistol, you know, like and that's the only weapon class. No, whatever I find, I can pick up and use. And I think for someone like me that likes to play a more defensive or a support character, not having those restrictions, like if I need to throw down, that's cool. Like I still have an automatic shotgun and some sort of auto rifle that I can still do some damage with.
Yeah. So yeah, this. Well, when did we tried to play it? We were going to play it on Monday, but I had to download it.
Yeah, when it came out, and I think when we had started, I had downloaded it earlier in the day because I said, all right, well, it just came out. I don't know how it is. I'm just going to download it because it's free. So PS4, Xbox One, PC, let's get all of them. By the time that you had gotten home and we had gotten on Party Chat, and I said, hey, let's play Apex Legends, the downloads were getting hit pretty hard.
Yep, which we'll get to why in a little bit.
Right.
But we first played it Tuesday night, I think it was.
Yep. Yeah.
And then pretty much every night after that, when I would come home from work, I would lie down in bed for a little bit, I would get up, I would go downstairs, do my chores, sit down, play Apex Legends.
Yep.
That was my week this week.
Yeah.
Like 2 days of Resident Evil, and the rest of it was all Apex Legends because, oh boy, it's one of those games that feels good to play. Yeah. Like, it doesn't feel good to get knocked out first in the round every single round like I have been doing. Right. It doesn't feel good to lose or to get close to the end. But no matter how I'm doing in the game, it is a good feeling playing the game. It controls the way I want it to control. Wall running not being there and the double jump not being there, yes, that sucks. But if you ever played Titanfall 2 multiplayer, you saw how people abuse those systems to basically get themselves in points in the map that was ridiculously impossible.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Exactly. So I think they've done a good job by taking those things out, and it's solid feeling all the way around.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think as soon as I played my first match, because I had played one match on PS4 before you and I did, just to go through and get a match out of the way. And I think as soon as you start picking up some guns and shooting them, for me that was sort of like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Like it clicks with me in the way that Fortnite feels so different that I almost don't want to compare the two, because Fortnite is such a looser game, not in a bad way, but it's much more of a looser shooting experience. It's third person. It's more about the building, where I think
that was one of my favorite things I saw, was someone trying to describe Apex Legends to someone on Twitter, and they responded with, well, how is it different from Fortnite? And the person responded with the best one, when you shoot someone, they don't turn into an 8-story building.
Great. Yeah, and I think part of what interests me, I never really tried PUBG because I think aesthetically it doesn't really do anything for me. It looks really drab, and I think the character models didn't look really great. I think that's where the chocolate and the peanut butter together gets really delicious for me, is when you take Respawn making a battle royale game that's 20 teams of 3, and then putting it on top of it the hero classes, which I mentioned it. So I've played with both community members, Late Elf and the Hannah. Hannah and I played a bunch of matches the other day on PS4. I think I was surprised that they gave us 6 out of the 8 heroes to begin with.
I think we talked about it on Tuesday as well. Like we were expecting like what, 4?
Like 3 maybe, where it's like everyone who has it, like you're going to be one of these 3. And I think having 6 out of the 8 is I don't want to use the word generous, but I think it was surprising at how you have a unit that can fill any role you really need to.
Yeah, and they're all varied enough to the point where just practice with each of them, see how you feel with each of them. Like, don't be like some muppet earlier today who my wife was playing and someone else went Bloodhound. My wife goes Pathfinder, and then this guy quits because he doesn't get one of the 2 classes he wants to use.
Pff. Come on, man. The match is going to be over in 10 minutes anyway.
Which, quick matches. It's a battle royale game. Most people will be rolling their eyes and turning their heads if they're not in on that. Well, let's talk about number 1. The amazing insight they have chosen to make it readable.
Yes.
So let's just talk about the no communication thing. So
my favorite part.
You do not have to talk to people, as there is an impressive ping system that's really intuitive, really easy to read and understand. The characters all have voice lines for different situations that you find yourself in. Let's say you start taking fire, your character will say, "I am taking fire," and then lets your other teammates know. Sucks that there is no solo right now, but that's fine.
I originally thought I was going to bounce off of that pretty hard and be like, well, I just want to play like, 1 versus 59. But I think with there being the ping system in place and everyone using it and everyone understanding it, I feel like, to me, if they don't put solo in there, I feel like they probably will. If they just leave teams of 3, which I think is pretty foundational to how this game functions, that's okay by me, because I don't need to use voice chat, and I can if I want to. No one else is, but that ping feels so good in getting your team to work together.
Yeah, and on top of that, you can open your inventory and ping an item of your inventory if you don't have it, and your character will say, "I need a blank." Like if you don't have armor and people are not good at reading the HUD. Like, because you can see your teammates' statuses, and you know if they've got armor by the fact that if they've got bars above their health. Yeah, like it's shown on the HUD. But if people are just not paying attention to that, you can open your inventory and ping the armor slot, and your character will say, "I need armor," and then that passes the message along to other people. Yo, if you see armor, please ping it for me, and I will come and get it.
Yeah,
like the ability to go on and win, which I haven't yet.
I've gotten to 3rd place. That's my highest.
My record so far is 8 or so second places, about 5 thirds, and 0 wins.
Nice.
Because that's me and all Battle Royale games. I don't do well. But the ability to do that with randoms, with no microphone communication, that's impressive. The fact that they can keep it like that. The fact that when you jump as a squad. That's a really good touch.
I love it, yeah.
And you have the choice to go your own way.
Don't do that, people.
Go your own way. But you don't have to. You by default stick with people.
I love the default auto follow.
Yeah, my thing for that is I will stick with them until we're close to the target or to the destination, and then I'll split. If they're heading towards one house, I'll split to the house just to the west, and have somebody else split to the house to the east, so that everybody's basically got their own house to loot.
And I think to continue talking about the ping real quick, I think the thing that's impressive is we talked about not needing voice communications because of the ping, but I think the ping also saves a lot with voice communication, where a lot of times it'd be like, we've all run into this thing where it's like, oh man, I've got ammo over here. And it's like, cool, where are you? And it's like, oh, I'm over by, well, just look for me on the map. It's like, I can't. I don't know where you are. Just ping it, move on your day, and you say, I just pinged armor, I know you needed it. And then, or say like, one of my favorite things is using the little numbers at the top on your compass to say, all right, I'm heading over 175. Like, I'm just southwest, whatever direction that is, I'm just going to head over that way. I think that stuff is incredible.
It's so well done. The abilities, everyone's abilities seem relatively balanced. Like, I've seen a lot of people complaining about Bloodhound and the fact that he can basically track people. Yeah, he can track people. Yeah, he can spot people. Once he's spotted them, the spot doesn't move, even if the person does. So there's that. And then there's the fact that his spotting ability has a big bubble that comes out of him. So guess what? If you're spotted, you should probably notice the big bubble that's just went over you.
Right.
And, you know, let him know where you are so you can counter it. Oh, jeez, what else? I love the executions. Like, the finishes.
They take just long enough for it to be like a risky reward thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody go and look at this. Nobody go and play Apex Legends and look at this finisher because it's my favorite and my wife's favorite character. Go and check out Pathfinder's high five execution.
Okay.
He grapples into their chest to kill them, pulls them closer, and as they're falling, they're like that, and he just goes and high fives them on the way down with a sad face on his chest.
Right.
It's so good.
I think the only real criticism that I have for the game so far, and I'm hoping this will be resolved in the future. One like to have, I would like, is for there to be a short tutorial like the one Lifeline got for all the characters, just to say like, here's what your active, or here's what your your passive ability is, here's your active one, here's your ultimate, just to use those real quick. What I really would like is just that tutorial area to be free roam, because one of the hardest...
experiment with the weapons and stuff like that.
It's not even the weapons. For me, it's inventory management, because they don't teach you that, and I haven't played enough of Battle Royales in the past to understand how that happens in the middle of while you're playing. So a lot of that has been like, oh, my inventory is full. Okay, oh, I didn't need that ammo type. Okay, how do I get rid of it? And I'm sort of sitting like a duck out in the middle. I wish you could go in and just swap all the stuff and learn how to do all that stuff without being in a match. But that's such a minor thing for me. That
well, it's stuff like the scopes and the attachments and stuff like that. Like they automatically attach them to the appropriate weapons, whether you have it equipped or not. It's such a big game changer that when I play PUBG, I'm sitting in my menus for half the time I'm alive, and I don't last long. So that's a lot of time in the menus. And it's this constant inventory game, whereas this feels like it's nailed it. It's as much as I hate the Destiny mouse controller, it's there. It's so quick to do that in the inventory. It's in the center of your screen. You extra drop, A to equip, whatever kind of thing. It's like you can get in there, you can get it done, you can get out really, really quick. There's so many like quality of life improvements to this game, and we are going to have to bring up possibly one of the biggest negatives for it. / we're okay with it. Which is this game, well, it has 2 characters locked behind currency, which is fine. You can pay to unlock them. You can pay to unlock the specific character you want to unlock, which is good. As an EA Access member, my wife, I started the game with 1,000 premium currency.
Cool.
So I immediately unlocked Mirage, who is the world's biggest D-bag.
Great.
He's that cocky dude, bro. With a little bit of nervousness behind it. So like one of his opening lines is, well, let's go have some fun, but I hope I don't have to play with that robot guy. I don't like him. But, you know.
Oh, I have seen him where he's like, He's like the hero from a game that maybe is doubting himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's Max Hazard.
Right.
You know, he's that kind of level. I mean, his skills are okay. He seems to be a little bit on the squishy side, but his ultimate is kind of super powerful. I just need to learn to use it offensively rather than defensively.
Right.
But other than the heroes locked behind characters, and it does take some time to get the secondary materials needed to buy those characters, the game has loot boxes.
Right.
Which you seem to get at least one loot box every single time you level up, which is fine.
Sure. At least in the early game, I'm sure that dries up at some point.
Probably, yes. Boston, what's in those loot boxes?
Cosmetics.
Anything else in those loot boxes?
That's it.
And there's one other thing. There's crafting materials, which are used
right.
to unlock cosmetics.
Right.
Specifically the cosmetics that you want to unlock.
Yeah, so you can pick them from a list and say, I want to unlock this one. It costs 500 crafting materials. Do you want to, yes or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any, like, power things hidden behind those loot boxes?
I think the thing that's the most interesting to me for loot boxes is the dupe protection, which is great.
Well, let's talk about that, like the fact that they have on that loot box screen where it talks about the what
chances of legendaries and all that.
Apex packs or whatever they're called.
I think that's what they're called, yeah.
It basically has a giant screen of text right there on the screen that says, these are your percentage chances for each one of these items.
Right. Each of the tiers.
Yep, each of the tiers. You have duplication protection. You have, Mina knows the term.
Bad luck protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't gotten like I think it's a legendary in 30 packs, you'll get a legendary on your 30th pack opened.
Yep. They are crystal clear about everything to do with them. And they are all cosmetics.
Yep.
That is it. Cosmetics and crafting materials, that's all.
Yep.
And you know what? When I talk about loot boxes and how much I hate them, I'm not a big fan of loot boxes, period. If you have to have them, this is the way to do them. And did I mention the game is free, so you don't get to complain that much about it?
Well, I think that's the balance, is I'm more than happy to play a game that has loot boxes and be happy about it, as long as the game is free, and especially when the game is so good, like Apex Legends is.
That's the thing, is like it's all cosmetics. It has no gameplay relevance at all, other than the way you look. If one of the cosmetics was you are invisible, that's a whole different ball game.
Right. That'd be something I wouldn't be very happy about.
But the fact that it's all just purely cosmetics, it's like that's absolutely fine for me. Yeah. I have zero problems with these cosmetics because, number one, the game is free, and number two, as long as I can keep my stupid addictive personality away from buying one, I will be fine. Yeah. So there we go.
And I feel like if you want to buy packs, I feel like the cost of them isn't that bad. Like one pack is $1, and then you get discounts above and beyond that. And I think from a monetary standpoint, that's fine. That seems fair. And the pack opening animation is really good.
It's really good. Pro tip, if you look at the animation as the robot is spinning, the lights that come out of each side are the color of the loot inside.
Yeah, I got a legendary skin for Lifeline on the PS4 version. And when that orange light came out, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. That's the stuff.
I think I have 4 legendaries.
Wow.
I've got a legendary banner for Bloodhound, which is like his crows, which is really cool. I've got a legendary skin for, I think, for Mirage. I got crafting materials dropped, which was like 600 legendary crafting material drop. So I'm already halfway to being able to unlock a legendary that I want to.
Right.
I can't even remember what the other legendary was. I think it was like a shotgun skin. Well,
I think the last thing for me to talk about is, I know Fortnite just did it, and I know the company that's stopping this, but I would really like if I could have cross-platform progression. I know Sony is blocking it. Let's not mince words here, but having the having my progression not carry over between the two platforms really isn't that big of a deal because I'm not spending money. It's not like, oh, I got all this cool legendary stuff on the Xbox One, and I don't have it on my PS4. But if it did, it would make it much easier. And I enjoy Apex Legends so much that if all that stuff carried over between platforms, I'd be way more likely to purchase something like the Founders Pack to support Respawn.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it for just one of the three platforms. And I'm assuming it's going to come out on Switch at some point, you know, whenever they get that version done. But
yeah,
that's a real bummer for me, but we all know it's Sony. So, I mean, we know where that frustration ends up.
But yeah, I mean, I put so much time into this game this week, it's ridiculous. Like, I played it with you, I think 2 days, I think it was.
So. Yeah.
I think played a lot with my wife, Late Elf from the community, T-Bomb Rocks from the community, Brain Eater from the community. It's like, you guys, you know, like I think my wife posted on Discord that me and her were about to start playing it. If anyone wants to join and be a third, I think within about 30 seconds of her posting that, T-Bomb had sent me a message saying, send the invite.
Right.
Like, okay, cool.
And I mean, that's why this game already has 10 million unique players and often a million concurrent, is the same reason why Fortnite was popular, is because it's free. And then on top of it, it's a really good game. Like I feel like for me, Apex Legends is the game that if you haven't tried a battle royale game and you really want to try one, or maybe even if you don't want to try one, try Apex Legends. The entry fee is $0. The only thing you're going to waste is some time, and I feel like this game feels the most like a shooter than something like Fortnite. Not to crap talk Fortnite, but that feels a lot different.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the fact that this has got you hooked in and you are like the antithesis of a BR player, tells you everything you really need to know about this. Like,
it's real good.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a great game. I mean, congrats to them for the 10 million, and it's worth mentioning. I think they got the buzz because they didn't announce it beforehand.
Well, did you see the interview? So there was a really great interview where they said, like, look, we know what we were making, and when people look at the checkbox, they see, oh, the Titanfall devs aren't making Titanfall 3, they're making a battle royale, and it's free, and EA's publishing it. They said, we know what that looks like, so we just put the game out without talking about it, so you guys can go play it. Like, we're not going to sit there and unveil it and do all this stuff. Like, it's just, go try it out. Like, our game is going to speak for itself. And I think that's the smartest way you could have launched that game.
Yeah, because it's kind of the inverse to the hype train. Like, God bless Bethesda, but if they announce anything that's online multiplayer, they are going to, like, even using their normal trick of announcing and then releasing 8 months later, even if they use that trick, that's 8 months worth of not building the hype train. That's 8 months worth of defending your decisions because of your bad decisions in the past. And by just dropping the game, they have cut off 6 months of people saying, yeah, but it's by EA.
Oh, I'd rather play Fortnite.
Exactly. It's cut off all of that negative talk and just forced people, here it is. It out.
Just go play.
Go see what you think.
And just try it.
As it happens, it's really, really good.
I want to play more of it.
That's all I've been playing. Come on, tell me all about your shadowy darkness in your heart.
My Kingdom Hearts is made of light. Kingdom Hearts 3, I finished it.
I was watching Twitter this week wondering how you were not throwing up all over yourself as you posted trophy after trophy after trophy. I was like, how? Do you have a bucket next to your seat?
I'll feel very well when I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 3. So I did a lot of farting around. I think Kingdom Hearts 3, if I cut out some of my pause time and I cut out some of the farting around I did, probably about 25 hours long, which is about Kingdom Hearts length. Going in order from where we talked about last week, I liked the Monsters Inc. world, Monstropolis, I think they're called. Yeah, we won't get into any spoilers, by the way, here, because the game just came out. I like that world because it's what I call a sequel world. It takes the events, it carries on after the events of Monsters Inc., which I think is really great. It tells a unique story, but carries over all the stuff that made... I like both Monsters movies. But it takes what's great about that movie and sort of builds on that storyline. God, the Frozen world is easily the worst world in the entire game.
Wait, there's a Frozen world in this game? What?
Yeah, here's the bad part. Everyone knows Let It Go from Frozen because you're a person that exists. They play out that scene with the song in total. The whole thing.
You know what? I'm okay with that. But I'm okay with that because I've heard that song once, and it was when we did the ODNF episode for Frozen.
But you've already seen the scene. They don't need to redo it.
It's a great scene. I will watch it again.
I've seen that movie so many times.
I know you do. That's why I'm fine with it.
This is easily the worst and longest world by far.
Is this the one with the worst minigame as well, based on the background of the photo you posted?
God, that is so... Yes, the Trinity sled minigame is so bad.
Is that Goofy's stupid shield again? Similar to the stuff you do in Hercules' place?
Yeah, but it's a little bit better. The Olympus stuff is really bad because you're like bumping into the walls the whole time. The one in Arendelle, the Frozen one, is you're sliding down a hill like SSX Junior style.
Okay.
So it's a little bit better, but there are 10 unique treasures in that minigame. You have to collect all 10 of them to get a piece to make the ultimate weapon.
In one run or in separate runs? In
separate runs. You can't gather all 10 of them. And thankfully, they'll have a little number inside the crystal, so you can say, oh, I just picked up number 3. PowerPix, PowerPyX.com, has a really great video on where all 10 of them are. Wink. I also highly recommend their videos where they will show you how to get all treasures and emblems in one video. You go do those.
Handy. Before you did the guide, by the way, how did you feel about the photograph stuff for the King's Head stuff? The
lucky emblems?
Yes.
I really like them. I think they're a lot of fun. I think there were some I was never going to find, especially in the Caribbean world. That place is stupid big.
Wait, there's a Caribbean world? I already knew. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it covers at World's End, which is
one of the worst
Pirates movie I just really hate. It's stupid. It's basically like a junior Black Flag. Like, there's a whole sailing and ship upgrading system and ship battles. Like, it's so big. But there's a bunch in there I genuinely wouldn't have found. I found the majority of them. I think I found there are 90 in total. I think I found 30 of them by the time I had finished.
Did you manage to tune in that, like, Arkham vision so you can see them from the distance kind of thing?
There were a couple where it was sort of like, this is like a really big rock in the middle of nowhere. I wonder if nope, there's Mickey's head. Okay.
Yep. There's 2 boulders on the other side of it. I wonder how can I get higher?
Yeah, how can I jump up this far to find it? I thought that stuff was really fun. I just did get all of them, and I thought that stuff was really good. That was one of those additions to this game where I thought, all right, if there are future Kingdom Hearts games, I would like that to come back because that's fun.
Yeah.
The rewards you get aren't really that great, but that's fine by me.
Well, you do get a sweet kaplunk or whatever your stupid noise is on your side.
Yeah, a little. Well, I don't even know what the trophy noise would be.
Is it swing?
A little bloop. I did use the Toy Box Keyblade the whole game though, because the thing that Kingdom Hearts games do that really tickles me is that you use your Keyblade in all the cutscenes. So I was having these super serious discussions wielding a cactus that has a cowboy hat on it, which is really good. So it was not the strongest one, but I kept it the whole game because it looked really dumb.
Yep.
So Kingdom Hearts, I'm definitely not going to spoil anything, but Kingdom Hearts 3 does...
Oh, really quick. Sorry.
Sure,
so, I'm guessing you got the secret movie based on following you on Twitter this week.
I did. They have patched in the epilogue and the secret movie, both of which I've seen.
Yes. So, I believe to describe what I witnessed through your Twitter feed this week was watching this series, finishing off this game. I might just be done with it after this game.
Sort of like I'm okay if this is the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there was a WTF Pikachu face.
Yeah, the shocked Pikachu on the secret movie. Yeah. I definitely won't talk about it, but it is. You have to get on normal mode. You have to get 60 lucky emblems, and then it'll unlock in the theater mode. And it's like a 2-minute video. It's not super long, but it is well worth it just to watch.
Was this kind of like the Kingdom Hearts 1 when you get the War of the Keyblades scene, and it's just a field full of Keyblades in the ground?
That was Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 1's was the dark where they're like racing up the buildings to each other, and like the one person whips out 2 Keyblades, and you're like, 2 Keyblades? What's the? Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very much like Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's like, what are these knights? Why are there like 1 million Keyblades in this field? Who's this dude? Why is there Kingdom Hearts there? Like, that was a great scene. Yeah, it's very much like one of those ones where you watch it and you're just sort of like, okay, I'm sure maybe if they come out with another game, 15 years from now, I will know what that scene means. But as of right now, okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
I think the thing that Kingdom Hearts 3 does that frustrated me the most, and I don't want to say it disappoints me, because all of the other Kingdom Hearts games have done this, is you get this huge story influx at the beginning of the game where it's cutscene after cutscene for hours. And then at some point it's just...
almost like a JRPG, one might say?
Exactly. I mean, this is a JRPG. But then you get Disney World after Disney World, and then after you beat the boss and you go back to the gummy ship, there's like a cryptic cutscene for 10 minutes, and then Organization 13 is like, yeah, that sort of. And the story moves along by inches throughout the entire game, and then once you get to the final world, it's like 2 hours of them wrapping up every story beat they've introduced. But the bad part about Kingdom Hearts 3 is the bad part about MGS4, where they're taking decades of story and trying to wrap up every single individual little bit. And what that means is the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 feels so rushed because they're wrapping up 13 games worth of story because they've never made any real progress story-wise in the previous 12 games. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that's in the last couple hours that by the time I was getting to the end of the game, it's like, okay, I'm ready to be done. Like, I'm really ready to fight the final boss and be done with this because there's just been so much here. I'm ready to see this finish.
Here is my question.
Sure.
Do they mention, I don't know, Aerith, Leon/Cloud?
I do have
Squall
a line here. There are no Final Fantasy characters in the game whatsoever.
Because Leon got a shout out in Toy Box World. That's it. That's literally the only thing I've seen to do with...
And I'm not that surprised because ever since Kingdom Hearts 2, they haven't really been there. And
but they should be.
It's disappointing to me. Like, I'd like to see Lightning in the game because I like Lightning. I would want to see Fran and Balthair, like, see them show up.
Is that the people from 15?
That's 12.
Okay.
I'd like to see, Yuna show up. That's 10. And
I know Yuna. I just don't know
Noctis. You could have Noctis come in from Final Fantasy 15, the main character. That'd be fine. I think on one hand, it's not a bad idea for them to sort of kick the Final Fantasy stuff out, because there's just so much mediocre storytelling they're trying to do already, that to pull in another universe of characters is just putting more weight on the shoulders of storytellers that are having trouble telling their own story right now.
You know what? I on a technical and a critical aspect, I understand where you're coming from. It's probably the right thing for them to do. But 12-year-old me says no.
Well, and
no.
I think
I want my Final Fantasy characters.
I think there's a way for them to do that, and that is the link system, which is a system that can go ignored for the entire game. That's where you have like the assist characters come in and
the stupid giant bubbly cat thing.
Yeah, that Mew Mew, I think his name is. That could all be Final Fantasy characters, and that would be fun. You know, Squall comes in and Gunblade for a little bit, and that'd be fine, you know.
Yeah, and then Thingyo comes in, Cloud comes in and does his stupid big slash attack, whatever his thing's called.
He does, like, Claim Hazard. He can come in and do that. Like
that... Isn't Sora's, like, one of Sora's finishing moves named after Cloud's original, like, high-end limit break?
There was one in 2... maybe not in this one, but there was in 2, I think. Like, one of the Keyblades had one of his finishing limit breaks in there. But I think that's a way for them to still pay homage to that stuff without having to say, like, we're in Twilight Town, look, it's Leon again, and Leon's like, sup, and that's it,
but
you know.
I prefer Leon over Doopy, Dofus, and Dingbat, the 3 guys who were in Death by Chained by Memories.
Yeah.
Like, why bring them back and put so much care and thought into making them fully realized 3D people when Leon doesn't exist on a high-definition platform?
I think Kingdom Hearts' insistence on making us care about Hainer, Pence, and Olette is a bit much, because I don't. They don't do much.
I hate them. I've hated them since I played them in the stupid Kingdom Hearts. Well, they were 2, weren't they?
Yeah, they were in the intro of 2.
And then guess what? They got wiped out because that world doesn't exist anymore.
Whoops. Kingdom Hearts 3. And I think that's the thing that I like Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it's a good game. I don't think it's an incredible, amazing game of the year sort of thing. And I think that's largely in part because Kingdom Hearts 3 buckles under the weight of its own lore and story. And I think video games, this is going to cause some people to be upset. I think video game fandoms are pushing video game publishers to do a lot of this stuff where they're wrapping up every individual possible thread, because if not, then someone's going to be mad.
It's also prevents it's one of the reasons we don't get, like, I don't want to phrase it this way, deeper or more hardcore stories anymore, is because the vitriol is just so loud. It's not even a lot of vitriol, it's just very loud vitriol.
Yeah, upset man babies.
Yeah, exactly. Which, go look at some of the Apex Legends upset man babies for the best time of your life.
Yeah. Well, also there are a lot of people upset at Kingdom Hearts 3, but I think most of those people are feeling let down by Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think I definitely do not feel like I'm let down. I feel like the story didn't wrap up in the way I was expecting it to, which is surprising. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 painted its ending very clearly at the beginning, and then
what we talked about last week, where we totally kind of guessed it out the gate.
Yeah, we guessed it, and I think it not doing that was good. There will be a lot of feelings about how people feel how this game finishes. I'm largely happy with it. As someone who really likes and cares about the Kingdom Hearts story, lore, whatever you want to call it.
True, but you're also able to step aside and say, okay, this might not have gone the way I wanted it, but it's an acceptable ending.
Yeah, and I think part of why I'm not upset is I don't think I had a way I wanted it to go. That so much storytelling for me, I'm along for the ride. And if it's a fun ride, then great. It didn't go where I was thinking it was going to go, but I hadn't been dreaming for 13 years about how Kingdom Hearts 2's next chapter would end. You know, to me, that just seems like I would be setting myself up for failure, or at least disappointment. But I think largely it was good. I really want to talk about one scene that happened at the end that was very surprising, but the game is a week old, so I definitely won't be doing that. Hopefully we can do a spoiler cast at some point so we can talk about it. I think at the end of the day, I liked Kingdom Hearts 3. I think, like I said, it's not a top 10 game. It's not going to be my favorite game of all time, but I think it'll sit in my collection as one of those games I'll look back fondly on and go like, you know what, that was a good game. I had a lot of fun. I'm going through and going to go get the platinum at this point. The majority of it is not hard to get. It's just a lot of time investment, really, especially like getting all the treasures in the game. It's not that bad. It just sort of takes a while. The one I'm really dreading is getting up to level 99, because that's just going to be a grind. Like, I'm done with the gummy ship stuff, and I'm done with the Ultima weapon. I'm done with a whole bunch of stuff.
And you're level 22.
I'm level 54 right now. And there's a good place I can go and grind out a bunch of experience, but I want to try and get a lot of the other stuff done to see how high I can get before I have to repeat this thing and to just get more stuff. So, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 was good. I enjoyed my time with it, and I was happy where it ended up, and I think I'm really excited. You know, they said pretty clearly, like, this is the end of this saga we're trying to tell. I don't know what they were ever calling it. I don't know if they were calling it, like, Sora's story or whatever.
How can it be Sora's story when he's not in half the games? So,
well, yeah, he was in Data, and I think what I'm really excited to see is what they do next. If there is another Kingdom Hearts game, like, what is that going to be, and do they largely move on from the lore of these games and start a new saga, which would be my preference.
Do they stay Disney? Or do they move something else?
I think they probably would, because I think for a lot of people that's a large selling point of Kingdom Hearts, is
true
going through those worlds.
You also got to think this game has been in development for 76,000 years, so think of all the stuff they could do it now with everything that Disney's bought. So Kingdom Hearts Rebirth, or whatever you want to call it, could include all the Marvel stuff, could include all of the
Star Wars and stuff,
the Star Wars stuff, and all this kind of extracurricular activity. The fact that they went to Tron in one of the worlds, still, I love that so much.
They went to Tron for 2 games, I believe, if I remember correctly.
I thought Tron was only in 2, because I have a poster, or had a poster of Sora, Donald, and Goofy in the Tron outfit, because it was around about 2 coming out. They might have gone there in one of the DS games. I don't know.
Maybe it was Birth by Sleep. I don't remember. Anyway, but I think you do bring up a good point. I think the Disney partnership is very lucrative for both sides. And I think if they can stay away from doing recap worlds like they have done in so many games, and focus more on sequel worlds, I think that's a real benefit. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they go from this. I'm assuming they're just going to take a break for a while, because
I hope so, because they need to, because it's been too long, this game in the making. If they come out next E3 and say, we're making Kingdom Hearts 5, it's just like,
no thanks. just give me a while.
Learn your lesson, dudes.
And I think Square Enix, from a production standpoint, really needs to stick with Unreal Engine 4. Just the stuff they've done in this game, to me, is proof that they can do really, really well with that engine. And that's such a well-supported engine that they should be able to start turning around games faster than a decade.
Yeah.
I know I'm asking for a lot.
Well,
but
come on. You don't understand. They have to build a new engine from scratch because look how long it took them to release something on Unreal Engine 4.
Right.
It's quicker for them to just build their own engine.
7 years is
scratch.
so much faster than 10.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really hope they stick with it because I feel like we avoid the Final Fantasy Versus 13 problem. We avoid the Kingdom Hearts 3 problem of, whoops, we made the game and, oh no, the White Engine and the Crystal Engine and the Kingdom Hearts engine, those were all going real bad. Unreal Engine 4.
And also two generations ago engines as well.
Right, like, yeah, it is not to be undersold that the last proper Kingdom Hearts game came out on the PS2. Fairly early day PS2. So I think getting them to turn games in general around faster and hopefully cheaper, I think is something that we can all benefit from. So,
oh, who needs cheaper when we can just blame Lara?
That's right. Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't sell very well. That's fine. Tomb Raider will sell well, right, guys? Whoops.
Tomb Raider missed expectations by about 26 million.
Yeah. Whoops. So, but that's all I played this week. So let's take a break.
Okay. Yeah, still bitter about that shit.
Yeah, well, it's gonna keep happening, unfortunately.
Hitman was just not profitable enough for us. We don't think it did well enough.
Yep.
One of the games of the year of 2016 did not do well enough, despite being, as far as I can tell, a critical and commercial smash hit.
Yep.
Fucking stupid.
But it didn't sell 1 billion copies.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really annoyed about EA posting the Battlefield 5 when undersold with 7 million. I get it, considering Battlefield 1 sold 20.
Right.
But the design changes they made to that game mean it's not going to sell as well. The fact that you rushed it out means it's not going to sell as well.
That's going to come back up in our news stories, too.
Hey, guess what killed Dead Space? Expectations.
Whoops. Jim Sterling did a really good video of that.
I love Jim Sterling. Did you see the latest video he put up about the syntax?
No, I is that the one where the thumbnail was the Anthem checklist?
No.
Okay. I didn't watch that one.
No, the syntax is one of the, I think it's one of the Southwest, one of the expected United States is going to put a 10% sin, S-I-N.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't watched his video yet on that. I haven't watched his stuff lately because his frustration, I get frustrated with him every once in a while where a company that has done wrong a number of times can never do anything right again. So like
I do like that is something that does piss me off about him. He's got a hard on for kicking the shit out of Ubisoft right now, and it's like,
yeah,
motherfucker, they are one of the best publishers out there. All things considered, they're one of the best people out there right now for this stuff. So maybe roll back a little.
Part of what's really frustrating me is this conversation around Anthem, that like release checklist that EA put out. It's like the smallest sin that any publisher has ever done. They put out a checklist that just says, here's all the versions of games, here's when you get to play them.
And it wasn't the developers, it wasn't the publishers, it was probably a PR team.
Yeah, and I think on the surface, that chart isn't anything crazy. There's just like, hey, you can play it early if you have EA Access Premier on PC. If not, here are the other versions and what they come with.
I've seen much more damaging versions of that. Go look at any Assassin's Creed released in the past 20 years.
Yeah, like there's 30 different versions and 20 columns. Like, and I think for people to dogpile on that, part of what frustrates me is I see Destiny happening again. Where it's like, oh, you put out Destiny 2. Oh, great. Maybe you'll get it right this time. And for people to look at Anthem and say like, oh, well, I'm not going to play it because fuck EA. And it's like, well, then you're saying that EA can never, any EA-owned studio can never independently put out a good game for the rest of time.
Yep. So you're taking Respawn out of that, you're taking BioWare out of that.
Right.
Visceral, who no longer exist anymore, unfortunately.
But I think that's the end game for people saying fuck EA is, well, I'm not going to play Anthem because EA sucks, even though I did like BioWare games. That's going to lead to BioWare closing because you didn't buy BioWare games because you think fuck EA. Like, I'm not saying you have to go out and buy a BioWare game just because the stuff... I'm not saying you have to go out and buy Anthem because Mass Effect 2 was really good.
Yeah.
These are totally different teams, decades apart. But I'm saying that...
Give it the chance. Give it the time of day before you
at least try and understand it. Like, even if I didn't like Apex Legends, I'd still understand here's why that's good, here's why it's bad. And it happens to be published by EA, so that leaves me with a little bit of hesitation about monetization on the game, not I bet it shoots bad because fuck EA. You know, like that's not how that goes.
I don't know.
That's when I get really frustrated, and I feel like it's like some sort of like shadows of Destiny 2 that I'm seeing again, where it's like I understand why people don't want to play Destiny 2, even though it's in a really great position right now, because they've been bitten twice or maybe even more times by the Destiny franchise. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the people that I get frustrated with Destiny is somebody who's never picked it up and said, oh, well, I never played Destiny because I heard they rushed out the first one and no one seemed to like it. It's like, well, yeah, you have no experience with it then. So sit down and shut the fuck up.
It's like your complete understanding for me and my wife to say, yeah, we're not going to buy the DLC. We're not going to stick another $80 to $120 into this game.
Right.
We put the 60 in, we did the time, we enjoyed what we played, and we're done.
Right.
Or
you didn't enjoy what you played and you're done, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. It comes back to something I think you said at pre-show last week, which was somebody putting up a headline like EA's history is already damaging Apex Legends and it's only been out a day, and it's like,
right,
motherfucker, headlines like that are part of the fucking problem.
Yeah, it was something like, I don't even remember what the headline was, but it was one of those headlines where it's like, you know, Apex Legends is worse because of EA's involvement. And it's like, you don't even know that. Like, you haven't even had time to play 10 matches, and you're like, well, this game's gonna fail because fuck EA. And it's just like, that's not even possible. Like, just...
But honestly, the problem is nothing gets clicks like negativity, because
100%.
Everybody who agrees with the negative opinion will go in and be as loud and vocal as they
be like,
can.
hell yeah, that's right, fuck EA. That guy's got me.
And you'll get 50 people in an echo chamber all doing that, and then all of a sudden, all the internet hears is that. They don't hear about me and you sitting there thinking, Anthem might be good, let's chill out.
They never heard about Destiny 1 was really great by the end, and that makes Destiny 2 more frustrating because it came out of the gate really weak.
Yeah, but it's like people like me and you who will sit here and go, okay, I'm going to pick up Anthem day one. I already know I'm going to do that. You're probably going to do the same thing. We will wait and we will give it a shot when we've sat down and played it. We don't go on comment boards and go, well, why don't you guys just shut up and wait until it comes out and then play it first?
Well, and there has been one, and the Hannah and I were talking about this the other day, and this is a viewpoint that I think is not surprising but sort of interesting to me, is that there are a large number of people that have played Apex Legends, and they said, I'm actually not... They're saying they're not going to pick up Anthem because they're getting their shooter fix from Apex Legends. So why would they play Anthem when all them and their friends are playing Apex Legends? It's like, okay, that's not bad.
I had a similar... I can't remember, was it the Beastcast, I think, talked about this exact same thing, where are they doing the exact same thing they did and eating their own market by releasing something so close to something else?
That would be EA's MO.
Because,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you Titanfall 2,
Yep.
releasing shortly after Battlefield 4, and right before Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Right.
Like, right in the middle. Like, in 3 weeks,
sent it out
you
to
got
die.
those 3 games.
Yep.
Like, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong, I get the impression that they needed for this thing to come out, because it sounds like they've been working on it since Titanfall 2.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And I completely understand people's approach of, well, I'm going to wait and not buy Anthem. Well, then the problem they've got with Anthem is Division 2 is 2 weeks behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if people skip Anthem and decide that they've got their EA shooting fix from Apex, what's the newest looter shooter that's coming out? It's Division 2.
Yeah.
Which
But at
the
least-
market on that thing has been horrendous.
At least Anthem and Division 2 are getting put out by different publishers.
Yeah.
That's the one difference there at the very least. Yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to start the next segment if you are.
Yeah, let me just drink your drink.
Take a little slurp of that water.
Yep. And for the record, Louise is still in the room. She's actually just asleep on her little chair right at the back over
Nice.
there. It's her Dwight free space.
Ah, the sleeping zone.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about releases for the week of January 11th, 2019. Trials Rising comes out on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Oh boy, do I wish I had the time to play Trials.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see them come out with this Switch day and date. Since I think they had promised that EA last year, 2 years ago maybe. And I think that'll probably sell pretty well there, but this is definitely not a series for me, but I'm really happy to see they come out, and I'm hoping this one's good, because the last one seemed like it wasn't what people really wanted.
The last one was okay, but I think it was also a case of, please stop making Trials games. We've had too many.
Right.
Because it was like 2 Trials on the 360 within about 2 or 3 years of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had another Trials and DLC and expansion pass all come out within 2 or 3 years of each other on the current gen. It feels like they've had give it enough of a break to release this one.
Yeah.
But I've got games to play. I got mouths to shoot. I don't have the time for this right now.
Next up, the game we're going to make some time for is Crackdown 3, coming out on PC and Xbox One on the 15th.
No, please be good. Please be good.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to this too. I know they're beta testing the multiplayer stuff for Xbox Insiders right now. I know I'm part of that program, but I won't be testing it. I'm excited to see what this is. I'm excited to play another Crackdown game, and like you, I'm hoping it's good. I would love to say, yes, pick up Crackdown 3 on Game Pass. It's $10 a month, and play it. It's really good.
Yeah, I hope it's good. We'll see, but I hope it's good.
Yeah. Far Cry New Dawn comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is the cheaper quasi sequel. I think it's only $40, and it's like a sequel to what was Far Cry 5? I don't know.
It's the Blood Dragon Origins or whatever.
But not crazy.
Yeah.
Well, sort of crazy.
Well, it looks kind of crazy based on the trailer for it, but
yeah.
Number one, they spoiled the end of 5. Number 2,
yes.
I'm not gonna buy a brand new game just so I can give that dude the punching in the teeth that he deserves.
A part of my frustration is I feel like they didn't learn from Far Cry Primal, where it's like you need to give way more time between Far Cry games, especially with Far Cry 5 not getting the warmest of receptions. I feel like making a spin-off / quasi-sequel to that is probably fine. Like, it probably made monetary sense, but I would rather them take a couple of years off, make another Watch Dogs in between, and then just put out Far Cry 6.
What do you think the Assassin's Creed team is doing right now, dude? They've already said there's not going to be another Assassin's Creed this year.
Yeah, they say a lot of things. I really want Watch Dogs 3. 2 was so good. 2 was so good, and no one played it, and it still kills me.
You know what I'd love to see? It doesn't. I don't think the studio exists anymore, and the original name of it definitely doesn't exist anymore. But give me a new True Crime / Sleepy Dogs.
Yeah, Sleepy Dogs 2. Ready for it. Any day.
I actually think that company, the studio who made it, went out of business. I think they closed.
I bet Square Enix owns those rights, though.
Oh, God. Sleepy Dogs did not perform. Sleepy Dogs did not perform according to the numbers we needed to, so therefore
did not meet expectations.
And we're going to continue development on Kingdom Hearts 7, due for release in 2072.
7.35.
Yes.
Yeah. Jump Force comes out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Is that Tuesday or Friday release?
I think it's a Tuesday.
I need to watch me some gameplay trailers and decide if I need this day one or not.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this turns out to be, because I think I hope that most people's expectations isn't that it's an all anime Dragon Ball Fighters, because that's not what it's gonna be. But if it plays well enough, it seems pretty cool.
People should back away from the Fighter Z comparison and think more like Anime Party. Like, not Anime Party, Anime Brothers. Like Smash Brothers, but with anime.
Yep.
And if they can nail, because like I said, the Shonen Jump and Mario Smash Brothers game on the DS is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah. Was it like Ultimate Battle 22 Jump Stars?
Like I don't know. Yeah. But if they can make that on make a Smash anime on current gen platforms and make it look and play nice and simple, it doesn't have to be really complex. Like Fighter Z is probably really complex, but if you give me Vegeta and tell me I can hit towards and B and he does a Gallic gun, I'm fine with that.
Well, and I think what you need to do to make that game successful is it needs to be fast and fun enough to play. But I think the multiplayer, people should be able to hop in and out really easily and should be able to just kind of play as much as you want.
Yeah.
You don't need some crazy lobby system where everyone's putting down quarters and stuff. That's not what you really need. Next up, Metro Exodus for PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Correction, it's not on PC. It is on the
it is on a PC platform, a PC store.
A PC store, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not a news story I wanted to get into with Epic and Steam kicking dust at each other.
The nerd slap fight.
Yeah, that's a more complicated thing than I think we have time to get into. But it is on. And if you want to buy it now, it's on Epic Games Store.
Yep.
I've never played a Metro game, even though I've always wanted to.
I own... Oh, this is so bad. This tells you how much I needed my spending spreadsheet for this year. I own Metro 1 and 2 on the 360. I own Metro 1 on the PC. I own Metro 1 and 2 remade on the Xbox One. Guess how many of them I have actually started or played?
0.
Correct.
Just like me, I probably own both of the first two on Steam, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't... these are those games where I always look at them, like the Dishonored series. I look at them and go, I bet I would really like those. One day I'm going to get to you, and that's never going to happen.
Dishonored 1 is a great game. Dishonored 2 has one of the greatest level designs of all time, from what I hear. I need to play 2.
I want to play that so bad. And last but not least... probably one of my favorite game titles of this year. Coming out for Switch is Ollie Ollie Switch Stance.
That's really good!
It's really good. It's Ollie Ollie 1 and 2 in one package for the Switch. Which is a pretty great platform for that as well. Okay,
don't get me wrong, I love a bad pun. I love a bad pun. The War Mastered Edition, the Definitive Edition, Remastered Edition. All really great. But to actually put a pun and have it make logical sense is a chef's kisses.
It's the perfect title. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, let's move on to news stories. Microsoft's Xbox Live is looking to expand. Microsoft has announced, as part of Game Developers Conference, GDC, they are hosting a conference called, quote, Xbox Live, growing and engaging your gaming community across iOS, Android, Switch, Xbox, and PC, end quote. And they're talking about their new cross-platform XDK, which is still a really great acronym, that's looking to connect people between all of those platforms on top of the Xbox and PC platform that they already have.
This is really great. This is steps forwards in
Yep.
the streaming future that everybody seems to be obsessed with, even though the infrastructure isn't quite there for it yet. I honestly can't wait until it's on Sony TVs and Sony consoles don't have it on because they refuse to.
You know, I was really surprised at how many news sites immediately jumped to, well, that means Game Pass is going to be on Switch. It's like, no, that just means your Xbox friends list will be on Switch when you're playing Fortnite against your Xbox friends. And it's also going to be on everything else that wants to leverage the features of the Xbox Live platform. But like you're saying, eventually that could mean, hey, by the way, if you have Game Pass and the streaming service, now on your Switch, you can stream Forza Horizon 5.
This, I think Gassman put it best on Bombcast. This is them building that relationship, which will allow that thing to grow into the stream it on this device service.
Yep.
And they already have developed a really good, thanks Sony, they've developed a good relationship with Nintendo, thanks to Sony's complete refusal to play ball.
Right.
They're going to get there on iOS, and their Xbox app itself is still hands down the best gaming related app. The Steam Store app I think is horrible. The Steam app is terrible.
Yep.
The PlayStation 17 PlayStation apps that you need to do
So
one thing is terrible.
Yep.
The Nintendo one is a bit of a poop show.
Yeah.
The one app I have to have installed on my phone when it comes to my video games is my Xbox app. And they've just updated it and made it even better.
For me, ironically, it's the Xbox app and the Destiny 2 app. Both of those are really good. I use those very regularly. But yeah, I think you're entirely right. That is laying this groundwork, not only from a technology standpoint, but also from a relationship standpoint of, hey man, we have Xbox Live on everything. Like, why would you keep your platform? Why would you keep your technology platform on a physical platform when you don't need to? Why wouldn't you put it on the really big platform on the Switch?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, is they've got the right to turn around and say to people, hey, you've got this one person who also has an Xbox Live subscription, but they have 40 friends on Xbox who regularly play games but don't own a Switch. This is your chance to have access to those people, to grow your market to them as well.
Yeah, Microsoft is saying that right now they have about 68 million active players. Moving on to something like iOS, Android, and Switch can get them up to 2 billion.
Yep.
So that's a no-brainer. You put a lot of zeros after that too, and it says, okay, yes, welcome to the Switch, Xbox Live.
Yep.
Next news story. We talked a lot about this during our break. If you watch the video version, that's what just came. If you're a patron listening to Outcast, that was what just happened. EA says they will lean harder on Anthem and Apex Legends after a, quote, difficult quarter. This is not too surprising. Moon, you brought up the great point that Battlefield 5 did not live up to expectations, which is the usual term, which is not too surprising based on a lot of what they changed in there, and despite it not being a must-buy title.
I did also notice they casually threw in a dig at the campaign in their announcement about this as well, which
did they?
Makes me laugh,
Yikes.
considering how many people are still enjoying single-player games.
Yeah, and it came out when Red Dead 2 came out. Like, it's not going to sell the same level because people are playing Red Dead.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who needs a good campaign? Like, surely Battlefield will sell better than Red Dead, which is a wholly multiplayer game. Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, these games are not going to sell at all.
No.
Because they are single-player games.
And for them to say that they're leaning harder on Apex Legends, that makes sense. Has microtransactions, has loot boxes, that's the one you really want to lean on, because that's going to be
10 million numbers.
Yeah, and it's going to be the one that has a much longer financial tail on it, because you get the dedicated players, you keep putting in skins. They're talking about putting a battle pass in, which is absolutely the right choice.
Yep.
And you get those battle pass sales every quarter, and you start making a lot of money. You don't get greedy and dumb about it, like Fortnite. Sorry. If you don't get greedy and dumb about it, like Fortnite has not gotten greedy or dumb, then you will do really well.
That's the funny thing is, people are blaming a lot of their loss of revenue on Fortnite. It's like, maybe it's because Fortnite isn't as predatory. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is predatory, but it's not as predatory or filthy as the things.
It's not brazenly predatory.
Yes.
Well, and I think the thing that really concerns me, even before the game is out, for them to say they're leaning harder on Anthem. It recently came out that they are hoping that Anthem will sell 6 million units in its first month. That's unlikely. No, I'm not going to say it's impossible, because Destiny 1 sold 6.25 million copies in its first month. But that had a much stronger marketing, positive marketing campaign beforehand. Anthem has had a lot of stumbles.
And troubles with the announcements, and
troubles with BioWare,
and troubles with EA, because at the end of the day, is, let's face it, last time people heard the name BioWare, what game were they talking about?
Mass Effect Andromeda. Whoops.
Did that thing go according to plan?
And I think to me, that's the thing that I'm really concerned about, is Mass Effect Andromeda did not do well for a number of reasons.
It was a good game.
It was a good game, and I think a lot of lessons were to be learned from a lot of stuff around Mass Effect Andromeda, most of which was out of BioWare's hands.
Yep.
The thing that worries me about Anthem is them saying this really writes the press release for 6 months from now that includes the phrase layoffs and didn't meet expectations. Like,
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did this because that is their plan, period.
Sure. And I mean, there's always been some level of, all right, the game is done, like, we're going to lay off a portion of staff. But with these games as a service, you expect them, like Apex Legends does, to have a much longer tail on them, similarly to how the Division and Destiny have, where you're getting patches and you're getting DLC and content packs and stuff like that. It seems like Anthem has a roadmap laid out for that already, but you have to realize that it might not do 6 million the first month, might do 6 million the first year, and that's okay if 2 million people stick around and spend money.
Yep.
But you can't, not everybody can do Call of Duty numbers. Please stop.
Can you, nobody listening or watching live, please steal this. Can you check if thegoodnews.com is taken? And then we can just start our own news website, just highlighting the positives of life, rather than
I think my ad block is blocking that website.
Okay, so it's clearly already taken.
Right.
Well, it's something we talked about earlier again. It's the negativity gets more clicks than anything else.
Yep.
Nobody's willing to talk about how good the Anthem looks. Nobody's willing to talk about how good it feels. And if it's not your style and it's not your preferred method, that's fine. I understand that. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to play it. Just don't come out and bury a game in a studio.
Yeah, don't hope for it to fail.
Yeah.
I don't like how it looks, so I hope it fails.
And you know what? Crackdown 3 took 26,000 years to come out, but you know what? It's coming out, and I don't care. I'm going to play it, and I will be biased. I will probably like that game. I will be able to admit its faults.
Sure.
Because, let's face it, it's going to have faults.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm still going to enjoy it because it's a game that I like to play.
Yeah. And our next news story on the other end of the spectrum is a game that we did not enjoy playing. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered is coming out on March 29th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So, details real quick before we get into it. It's coming on those platforms with Assassin's Creed AC3 Liberation, which was the the Vita game, which apparently was really good.
From what I played of it, I enjoyed that game a lot.
Yeah, those two games are $40, or if you have the Assassin's Creed Odyssey Season Pass, you'll get them for free. This is one of the more surprising Assassin's Creed announcements I've seen in a while, because
they shouldn't have announced it. They should have literally just put it down and had people start getting it for free. Don't announce it, not when it comes to a game which is as controversial as this game is, because there was discussion on Twitter a lot about this announcement. AC3 is not a terrible game. AC3 is one of the worst Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorites, yeah.
But that doesn't make it a terrible game.
Yeah.
It is controversial because... I'm going to use this term, and I apologize in advance for using this term, because it's one of my least favorite terms ever. AC3 is controversial because all you snowflake Americans don't like your history getting messed with. Oh no, Paul Revere, you got to ride the horse for Paul Revere.
It's the only history we know, so when people start bending it, Americans sort of start going like, wait, that's not how that happened. It's like, oh my god, that's the point of Assassin's Creed.
It's a very controversial game, and it has its faults. It's got a 17-hour tutorial, you know.
And after the 2 trilogy being so strong and admittedly tapering off towards the end of it, another Assassin's Creed main numbered game that didn't have Ezio in it was going to be a hard sell anyway. It just happened to be that Assassin's Creed 3 was not great.
Yeah.
The thing that surprises me the most is, and I do not mean this to be mean to anyone, this had to be really cheap to do. Because it seems like when you look at remastering the 2 trilogy, that makes sense. You want to remaster, well, Black Flag came out for current-gen consoles, but...
Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue. That's a perfect example. You want to remaster Rogue? That makes sense, because most people missed it because it came out at the same time as Unity. Yes. You want to remaster 3? It doesn't seem like a lot of people are going to pony up $40 to play Assassin's Creed 3. So, and watching the comparison trailer they put out, it looks really good. like they did a really good job at like cleaning up the colors and the lighting and a lot of stuff. It's a much different game. But man, it's not the game that people would be clamoring for. I think more people would be clamoring for a remake of 1, as much as you probably don't want to go back to that game.
You do not want to play 1 in the slightest.
Yeah, but I think more people would be like, yeah, I could play 1 again, so like 3.
No, the only way you're going to play 1 again is if it gets the Resident Evil 2 treatment.
Yeah, you have to remake. You can't remaster that game. You have to remake the whole thing from the ground up. It's just, it's sort of broken.
Yeah, I mean, Mina is in chat talking about her different versions of playing it. I think I'm the odd one out here because I'm the one who plays the bad ones, the quote-unquote bad ones. Like, because I played the 2 trilogy except for the last one.
The last one was real good.
I played 3.
Yep.
I didn't play Black Flag.
Right, which is really good.
I played Unity, and then I skipped on Syndicate for the longest time.
Right. I wish I had stuck with Unity. I know I would have liked it if I would have stuck with it.
Yeah, I think the thing with Unity was, the thing that took me through that was the look of the game, because the game
was cool. Yeah.
Looked amazing. The problem is it's now 7 years into this current generation's life cycle.
Right.
I might struggle with that. Also, the fact that you could play the missions co-op, it was amazing.
Well, and it might be a little bit hard to go to the quote-unquote old style of Assassin's Creed, especially, I think, 3, because Black Flag still had some of it. 3 is probably going to have some of the follow the guy real quietly, but don't go in his area and don't go too far away. You know, those sort of missions, which always sucked.
Yeah, and Mina, if you haven't played AC since Black Flag Odyssey,
Odyssey's really great. I would say at least try Origins, maybe set it to the easiest difficulty and just blow through it.
I mean, Origins or Odyssey are, if you like AC, they're the 2 must plays for me. If you don't mind a slog, Odyssey. If you want a nice, tight 60-hour game, play Origins.
Yep. On that note, let's move on to our questions. Kamal Joss writes in Discord, opinion, God of War 2018 is the best 3D Metroidvania. Agree? Question mark.
The best 3D Metroidvania.
I don't even know if it's like all the way a Metroidvania. It's pretty close.
Dude, it's a Metroidvania. You don't get the lightning bomb stuff until later on. You can't open certain paths until later on. 100% God of War 2018 is a Metroidvania.
To me, I think the thing that... I feel like that term is getting a little bit diluted, though, because I feel like, to me, a Metroidvania stops you from progressing in the game without some of those features,
upgrades,
because you can't get to an entire area without that stuff. I feel like the way that God of War gates that stuff is by that like spinny thing in the middle of where you go to the different realms.
That's true, but at the same time it stops you from progressing further in the story until you go and do the linear part of the story. So it is it's a very linear kind of storytelling. But if Arkham Asylum is a Metroidvania, which everybody claims it is, then God of War has to be for the same reason.
Best 3D Metroidvania.
Arkham Asylum. I'm sorry.
Arkham Asylum would be way up there for me, with it having the same sort of issues. I wish that Lords of Shadow was a Metroidvania. Ironically, the Castlevania game is not.
Yeah.
They had the two 3D Castlevania games for PS2 that were both pretty good, but I don't think that would be the best in genre. Maybe Arkham Asylum? I feel like the rest of the games after that moved too far away from that, and they moved just in a straight open world.
Yeah. I mean, I think Arkham Asylum is close. Well, I don't know about today, but back then it was as close as you could possibly get to a perfect game.
Yeah. I bet the remaster of it is still pretty good. That's a really solid, tight game. That I think that's why the other games frustrated me a lot, is because
they were open world.
That. Yeah, like it had open world, and the open world was fine, but I don't think all of them need to be like that.
Yeah. I think about the 3D Metroidvanias period, and that's difficult.
Yeah, there's not a lot, because I feel like it's not a super popular genre to make games in, so you're not going to see a lot of like AAA 3D Metroidvania games.
Yeah, definitely not.
A lot of people are making 2D ones, because that's sort of the history of the subgenre.
It's the legacy, isn't it? It's one of those things where it's like,
I want to make a game like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I want to make a game like Super Metroid. So I'll make Axiom Verge, which, again, is another fantastic...
Axiom Verge is so good. It's free on Epic Game Store right now.
I was about to say, go look up that being released on Epic Game Store if you want to giggle to yourself.
That was a really good bug.
Metroid Prime, I've never played that. Is that a 3D Metroidvania?
Yeah, that's probably... Boy, that might actually win mine. That's a really great game.
Is Darksiders Metroidvania or Zelda?
I think that one's tough because it's like a Metroidvania and Zelda and Portal all at the same time.
Yeah. One I can't put it near the top of my list, but it wants to be near the top of my list just because my heart literally goes out to it. Like, open up my chest and drink from my heart. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver as one of the best 3D Metroidvanias ever. Like, take my blood and form your wings. Like, that's a really good one. I think that's about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not super great. The thing is that God of War just plays really well. That's just such a great game.
What about the Tomb Raider games? Are they Metroidvanias?
No.
More character action?
To me, they've been character action and puzzle, and then the remake, or the reboot, is sort of... Yeah, I guess character action more. The second game, I haven't played yet played the third one. Shadow, I think is the third one. I liked the second one because they started doing a little bit of, not open world, but explorable environments, which helped some of that like Metroidvania puzzle-ish sort of stuff. Where like, oh, you can't get up this wall until you can, plant these arrows in, and then you can do that. That's the sort of stuff I like. But it's like hints of Metroidvania. It's like when every first-person shooter started having experience bars in it. It's like, it's not an RPG, but it has the good parts of what you want.
Yeah, it's the Salt Bay of Metroidvania.
Yeah. T-Bomb Rocks writes in and says, next week we have 4.5 big releases. Crackdown 3, Far Cry New Dawn, Jump Force, Metro Exodus, and Anthem 10-hour early trial for everything except for the PS4. Which of the releases will be left out the most?
Left out?
Jump Force?
Jump Force, that will have its people. I still haven't seen a gameplay trailer. That is one I will look at before I play it.
Yeah.
Or before I buy it. Far Cry, because I think they burned too many people with 5. People will still buy it.
It's not a true sequel, so I think a lot of people look at it and be like, yeah, I don't, that's fine. I can skip that one.
Yeah, it's how many people did they annoy with not being able to punch Seed in the face?
Right.
Compared to how many people are willing to pay to punch Seed in the face.
Maybe you'll be able to do it this time.
Mm-hmm.
Wink.
Honestly, I hope Anthem does well. I hope Anthem sells gangbusters.
Yep.
But right now, there is, not even just right now, but for the past extended history, there is vitriol against anybody, and EA seems to be getting its share of it at the moment.
I feel like I'm really interested. I'm still going to keep my pre-order no matter what happens, but I'm really interested in the 10-hour early trial impressions from some of the Destiny YouTubers I follow, especially Dado, because I feel like that's a healthy enough chunk for a lot of people to get most of the way through a campaign. Maybe, I don't know how long it's going to be. And maybe try some of the more difficult stuff, do some of the dungeons or strongholds, I think they're calling them, do all that sort of stuff, and get a better picture of the overall whole thing. As opposed to just 2 missions here, 1 mission there, an hour here or there. So that's gonna be really interesting.
I hope people are used to enough now with the 10-hour trials that they don't expect to just be able to blow through the game in 10 hours and play as much as they want. Because again, EA taking Backlash, Mass Effect was like, there you go, you can do the prologue, now go play multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's not a 10-hour race.
Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, that's fine. If that's how you want to do your free trial, not a problem at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Crackdown 3, I don't think that's going to get left out.
It's going to get forgotten.
I think it's going to get forgotten by the end of the year, probably.
I think it's going to get forgotten within the next 2 months.
Probably.
It will be a case of headlines out, Crackdown 3 is finally released.
Right. It is good, average, or bad.
Yeah.
It also has multiplayer, and no one's playing it.
Honestly, what Crackdown needs is streamers. Crackdown needs, because it didn't exist back in the day when I was sending buses up the agency tower with knobs. Like, that ability didn't exist as easy as it does these days.
Yeah.
So it needs streamers out there showing the dumb stupidness that you can have with that game.
Yep. And last question here from T-Bomb is, with the success of Apex and the further delays of Battlefield 5's Battle Royale, it has me thinking, do you think other Battle Royale can be successful like Apex, or do you think we are getting almost oversaturated?
I think for this question specifically, if you are releasing a Battle Royale game at this point, you need to be aware. Don't just have it as one huge map with X amount of people. You need to scale that because you don't know how it's going to do. If you launch a Battle Royale mode and you can't get 100 people together to play in the lobby, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you're going to put out a Battle Royale, you have to do something a little bit different. Like when you look at Apex, it has Respawn's pedigree behind it, which not every studio is going to have. But it's it's all 3-people squads. It's not solo. So, and you have the ping system. You have all these differentiators there that make it different from something like Fortnite. So, if Fortnite doesn't
the hero abilities as well, which is something that none of the other ones really do.
So, like if Fortnite doesn't fit your fancy, you have something like PUBG, or you have You have Blackout from Call of Duty, which I've heard is good. You have Apex. You have all these options for. They're in the battle royale genre, but they're all different enough in some sort of fundamental way that it's not just. Blackout isn't another PUBG. In Apex isn't another Fortnite. They're all different.
Yeah.
But
Mina in chat says that she's tired of battle royales, but if she was gonna jump into one as a noob, she'd pick up Fortnite.
Sure.
My recommendation: don't pick up Apex.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's
Fortnite,
friendlier.
Yeah, Fortnite is trying to be a construction simulator and a first-person shooter at the same time.
Yeah.
And something I bounced off. Shooter. Yep, something I bounced off with that game is, unless you're 14 and you've been working on your APMs for the past 20 years,
right,
you ain't gonna be able to build as quick as these people can build.
Yeah, I can't. I can barely build anything.
Exactly. It's one of those things where it's like, I think that's the best thing that Apex does is it stands out because it's new friendly.
Yeah. I think if you're going to come out with another battle royale at this point, I think it needs to have some serious money behind it. It has to have some serious design chops behind it. It can't just be,
whatever Cliffy B's game was called.
No, it was Radical Heights. That had its own problems.
Yeah.
What's the one that Devolver Digital published? Scum, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's doing fine, but I feel like that there's now starting to be like a B tier of battle royale games where you have, EA's putting out one, and Ubisoft will probably come out with one, and Call of Duty has one. That'll be your sort of AAA BR games, which kills me a little bit inside to say. But I think if you're gonna make a battle royale game, you're not gonna be Fortnite, and now you're not gonna be Apex, which is crazy popular.
I'm so glad that they made the 10 million number this quick.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because it was great to see Vince Zampella tweet with the mind-blown emoji. Yeah. It was just like, thank you, someone who got screwed over by several corporations throughout your history.
Insane.
Left EA because they were nasty to go to Activision, who then got fired from Activision because they were nasty to go back to EA. It's like,
right,
dude needs some love.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like 2019 is probably going to have at least one more of these battle royale modes, other than Battlefield 5, that will sort of come out and be like, oh, okay, sure, that's interesting. I'm surprised about that. But yeah, 2019 is going to be really interesting now, especially with 3 big battle royale games out there.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for our episode this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to follow us, you can do so at tvgp.tv, everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones and numbers.
The ones and numbers.
The $5 tier is the one you really want. Gets all the cool stuff, all the behind-the-scenes exclusive stuff. And I think, what do we have coming up? Nothing crazy coming up. A lot more We Rogue Like It. That we're recording. The game we're on currently right now has gotten some pretty long episodes out of us, which is pretty good. There's a lot to talk about there.
Yep.
So go join our Patreon. Game Club. This game of the month, last day of June. The game is pretty short.
Yep. $6 on Steam right now. Go get it on sale.
Not super crazy puzzles. And I think that's really it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye. Also, Mina, it's funny that my household is Mina in chat mentioning how she prefers single-player games. I prefer single-player games. Mm-hmm. My wife is a very competitive player. I'm not saying she prefers multiplayer because she also loves herself a good RPG.
Sure.
But when her top 3 games last year were Rainbow Six Siege and Rocket League, then,
Yeah. All right, hit me with those titles.
Hit me with your best shot. Hopefully.
I wish that was in the episode proper.
I don't know if it was or not.
No.
My wife and I's nomenclature. Why would it get vetoed? Specifically because I said it. Why would it get vetoed? I call him Will.
Mm-hmm.
The arm ball. No Siri. Zero wins. SSX Junior Trial. Arkham Vision. So much mediocre storytelling. Zero. And not brazenly predatory. Which I feel like is a really good show title, but I don't know if it's okay.
Not brazenly predatory. God, that one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I have your second playthrough. I call him Will. I am a hardcore rookie. The arm ball, standard mode Leon, impressively gross. Why would it get vetoed? No Siri. SSX Junior, Zero, and not blatantly predatory.
Brazenly.
Brazenly. Yeah, sorry. That's what I wrote down. It's so cold in here, like my hands aren't working right.
Oh, well, my handwriting's hot garbage anyway.
Sorry,
so.
sorry, $1 patrons. I do like not brazenly predatory.
I do too. Honestly, that gets my vote.
Yeah, I'm looking at everything else. Like SSX Junior is good. The arm ball is good. I call him Will. Like any other week, probably would have won.
Yeah, I think for me it's a tie between three-way tie. I call him Will, the arm ball, and not brazenly predatory. But predatory kind of takes it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be my vote too. Everything else is good.
Yeah, but that kind of stands out.
Yeah, and I get a title for once too.
As my call and response, can I please plug the patron because it's too good to not plug our patron?
You should. That's a really
okay.
That's a really good thing when we take the piss out of ourselves.
I wanted your confirmation before I actually did it.
That's really good. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 590 for February 11th, 2019. Not brazenly predatory.
Patreon.com/E1M1.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for watching live, watching the video, all this stuff. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.